Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Here we are on the Red Pill News. Yeah. How you guys doing out there in this world? Give yourselves an applause. All the people out there that have ever stood wrongfully accused of anything, you know, from a female to a male. In this world, men are under attack. And I say that with great pain because I am one, number one, and I see what's happening to my fellow brothers. And it's because of all these years of female oppression. Now it's flipped on the other side, and I guess people have to make men suffer to get some kind of revenge, even though they're not getting any kind of revenge out of it. The only thing you're doing is making somebody suffer. Yeah, two wrongs don't make a right, right? So, but in our society, if a female alleges something against a male, it's believed, automatically, without any kind of trial and nothing. You just don't, you can go out into the press and say, "Hey, this guy did this," and you're already going to poison their minds. People are already going to understand that, oh, this guy did this, or even maybe if you did it, or maybe, if you did something inappropriate with somebody or whatever. It's like that. But then there's women who out there outright lie about he raped me. That Dr. Ford, remember, Dr. Ford. So that's a perfect case. This is a woman that testified against a SCOTUS going in, Kavanaugh, saying that he raped her, held her down, raped her. Other guys raped her, right? And in the testimony, it came out that she didn't even remember if it was him or if he was there or what house it was in or whatever. She didn't remember any of it. Didn't have any kind of recall except it was him that did it. But then when it came down to really pressing her, then all of a sudden it wasn't. And then after the trial, she said she would have said anything to keep him out of the office. But yet, did she go to jail? Did she get charged for lying on the stand? Did they pursue that at all? No, because it was a clown show. They specifically chose her to go after him because that's what the Democrats wanted to do, and that's what they did. They're a group that attacks. They're a group, they attack people, don't they? But yet they don't know how to run anything. They don't know how to do anything. They don't know how to figure anything out. You can look at the crises going on in the United States right now that's caused solely by the Democratic Party. They can't point fingers of blame at anybody else. They can try to say that the Reds stand in the way, but the truth of it is they're in control. They're running the show. They get a president who doesn't even know where the hell he is or what he's doing at any given time. But in our world, and then that side still pushes that narrative. It's fading away. If you've noticed, people are fed up. They've had it. They don't look at someone who burns down a police station as a protester anymore. They don't look at someone who's robbing stores, smashing windows, or pushing people in front of trains as the oppressed. And they're acting out because that's what they are. It's a party of excuses unless it comes to if you're a male. If you're a male, you're especially if you're a Caucasian male, you are the problem of society as far as they are concerned, and they link everything to that, which is ridiculous because there's plenty of white males that suffer. There's plenty of everybody that suffers, and the very fact that they like to single people out and point fingers shows you what they're all about, right? So in this world, if you're in a relationship and your girl says he hit me, right? The police come. Who are the police going to take away? And even if you say, "Oh, I didn't hit her," well, she's saying is she you. They'll take you away. They'll take your guns away. They'll take everything that you have away until you can prove your innocence, which might take some time. Within that time, you can lose your job, you can lose your life, you can lose your friends and family if they believe her. And such a huge problem because then you have the group saying that every woman should be believed unless she's making allegations against somebody who's a Democrat, right? Like a Bill Clinton type or any of the other slew of them that has sexual problems, or any politician for that matter, that have sexual issues and problems. And here are these people that you have to believe this and believe that and whatever, unless it's they themselves. If you notice, the Democratic Party excuses all of the ills of their own people. They'll stand up for these issues, but they'll excuse all of the stuff that their own people do, the same stuff that they have issue against, which is hypocrisy at its highest, right? Highest. So it's ugly. It's ugly, folks. You know what I mean? So here you have a world of he hit me, he did this to me, he did this, he touched me. Yeah. God forbid little girls say that about a guy. He touched me. Oh my God. They cart you away. You're done. You're done. In our society, you are done. And even if you prove your innocence, even if you have to fight, go through court and prove your innocence, 100% on the shadow of a doubt, you did not do it. People will still believe it about you. You still poison their mind because humans are more apt to believe something negative than positive. It's a flaw in the DNA code when they wrote humans. But the reality is that's the world we're in. And you, as a young male in this world, have to protect yourself. You have to really protect you. If you're going to college, you don't want to date girls in your own college. You don't want to mess around. You don't want to do anything. I mean, because this is a day and age of, yeah, you hung out with this girl, you had a few drinks, you had sex. The next day, she says, you raped me. And because she was drunk, the court's saying, well, she was inebriated, so you raped her. And then here you are as a sex offender. You can get jail time for that and go to jail and then could be a sex offender for the rest of your life. Try getting jobs with that on your record. Try doing something like that. But because of all of this, because of I mean, there's a lot of lying going on out there, and then you see these women get sussed out. You saw that one college girl say that she was raped by two guys, because she had a boyfriend. Turns out she actually wanted to have sex with both of the guys, like a rotisserie chicken, and then the boyfriend, she didn't want him to know because she was just being a pig, right, riding the carousel. But at the same time, she was happily, joyfully able to hang these two guys up. They got dismissed out of college. They lost their tuition. I mean, so many things happened. Oh, yeah. A year and a half later, they were proven innocent, both of them, and she finally confessed. Did they get their money back? No. Did they go back to that college? No. I mean, so this is the damage, that lifelong damage. So I think when these women lie and you catch them in a lie, they should be charged with that perjury on the stand, and that jury should understand that that's a lifelong damage. This isn't something that's going to be quick and go, oh, you can rob a bank, you go to jail for a few years and come back out again. Your life is fairly back to normal, even you're ex-con after that. But still, it's not the same as standing accused. So standing accused is worse than being convicted in this country of a lot of other crimes. That's crazy. It's crazy. It's like that. So we scored a victory, and I say we. I don't have any kinship with Johnny Depp. I'm not a huge Johnny Depp fan. I think he's a great actor, and I think that he can play almost any role. He's lifelong actor. He's been out there. The trial was ridiculous. I didn't really watch it, only some clippets. I watched a clip it when she pooped the bed. And let me tell you, folks, you gotta be a psychopath to crap in the bed. I mean, look, it wasn't an accident. It wasn't like she had an ailment and when that came out by accident. This woman shat the bed. You know what I mean? On his side. And you have to be a real low class nut job psycho to do something like that. It's not funny. It's not nothing. And then after she tried saying it was the dog, which is even worse, that she did it and she didn't want anybody to know that she did and whatever. I don't even know how this woman. I mean, she was attractive. I don't find her attractive now, especially since I know she pooped the bed. That kind of just takes the whole lure, unless you like that sort of thing. I mean, I think Elon Musk, he's kind of a weird guy. You know what I mean? He hung out with her. But so anyway, she hit the wall. And she's, Johnny Depp, over 20 years older than her. She hit the wall, and she's in her 30s. And she's just not, some people, they are what they are, and they don't mature exactly, anyway, she's maturing like milk, and not like a nice fine bottle of wine. And then she's gonna have a very hard time in the future now, because she was found guilty of defamation against him, that he lost work, that she went out there in the media to destroy his reputation. She doctored photos, made up bruises on herself, and all that. She lied, lied, and lied again. When they're divorced, I actually reported on the divorce. It was funny. It was a while ago because she had gotten 9 million out of the deal, and she said, "Well, it wasn't about the money, and she was going to donate all the money, the whole 9 million." Turns out she didn't donate $1, so she lied about that, and so that's what came out on the stand. Let me read this in. Johnny Depp won his bombshell defamation lawsuit against Amber Heard on Wednesday, with the Virginia jury awarding him more than 10 million. So he got 10 million from one, 5 million from another. Then she got 2 million because his agent went out there and put some stuff out there in the media that what she's saying was fake, even though it was fake. But really, it's he himself who's responsible for that money. And because of her financial situation in Virginia, she only has to pay back $10.4 million to him, to Johnny Depp, right? And of course, she's going to appeal. So, but they awarded him more than 10 million in finding that his ex-wife sullied his reputation, soiled and damaged his career with her claims of domestic abuse. Let's see, the 7 Fairfax jurors in Depp's favor on all 3 of his claims related to a Washington Post op-ed. Heard wrote about becoming a public figure representing domestic abuse. That's another thing. She jumped to the front of the line in the Me Too, saying, and this is a lot of women. When Me Too happened, there was a lot of women out there that felt like they needed the spotlight for themselves. They wanted the spotlight. They wanted to be out there. They wanted to say, this guy abused me, and this guy hurt me, or whatever, blah, 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 blah. And it destroyed people. And then, there was no trials, nothing like that. Just a lot of hearsay and that kind of stuff. Some have trials, some look at Harvey Weinstein. I mean, look at the stuff. And then he's part of the whole Me Too thing. They went after him. But these women slept with him knowing that they're going to get a job. He slept with them knowing that he was going to give them a job. It was a business transaction, right? And that's how low. Listen, if these women are willing to go to bed with someone for that type of thing, that's between those two people, right? It's an ugly part of Hollywood. It's an ugly part of the music business. It shouldn't be. People shouldn't have that kind of power over you, especially. But this is what people are willing to do. You think Amber Heard is any different from any of that? And she has no acting ability. Have you ever seen her? I mean, he got her the job for that Aquaman thing, right? Because of his notoriety. Same as Will Smith's wife. You think old Baldy would be on there with a podcast if she wasn't married to Will Smith? Nobody would even know her name. She's obscure. She's nobody. She's out there. It's not like she's this great actor, right? She's gonna blow you away with her acting ability. Come on, man. And she's still out there playing up the slap. The slap happened a long time ago, months ago now. Is she still out there playing up the slap because she wants the ratings? This is a woman that had her husband come on her own show so people would listen to it and watch it and tell him that she had a 2-year affair with some young guy who was her personal pogo stick, and he had to sit there and suffer through that. So I don't know. So the jury went out for 13 hours for deliberations, capped this 6-week trial filled with allegations and abuse on both sides. Johnny Depp up there sharing all the alcohol, drug details of his life. So for him, it was like one long therapy session. Basically, these guys are used to saying all this stuff because they say it to therapists all the time. It all comes out. And let's see. The disappointment I feel, this is, I guess, Amber Turd, right? The disappointment I feel today is beyond words, she said in a statement. I'm so upset I could shit. And she pooped right there on the judge's gavel. Mm. What do you, judge? That judge better watch. Watch their own bed. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to a disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. So it was his power and influence. So it didn't happen. She's saying that nothing he said happened, and she was the one. She's the victim. We are in a victim culture in the United States of America right now, whereas the left pushes thumps the drum that if you're born a female into this world, or a minority, or anything that they label as disadvantage, which is really horrible to begin with. What they do is that they compartmentalize groups and label them like they do, and play to them, and then tell them that they're disadvantaged, and they use them for their vote, and they don't do anything for them. But if you're part of that group, they tell you you're a victim. You're a born victim. You're born a victim, right? So she thinks that she's a victim. She's spent millions of dollars. She's totally broke. She said she just bought a mansion out in the desert, so she's not totally broke. She's actually using her homeowner's insurance policy to pay for the lawyers. In case you want to know where she got the dosh, because she actually said that because she has had to pay for her legal counsel, she has no money. So there's a clause in people's homeowners insurance that a lot of people probably aren't familiar with, that will cover you in a defamation lawsuit unless you are the one who's guilty, and then you don't get covered at all. So that's where she's at right now, that she has to pay his lawyer expenses, and also her own. So that's going to be interesting. So let's see. Uh, and she was awarded 2 million. Like I said, that's going to come from that lawyer. She'll be looking for that money. So before the trial, she was worth about 8 million. Now they said that she's worth about two. And that's going to be the money that she has coming in. The 9 million that she had, she already tore through a bunch of that money, and had the 8 million left. But part of that was like property that she owns and whatever. So really, she's going back to the ghetto, man. I mean, she's going to be going back to where she came from, because no one's going to want to put her in a movie. No one's going to want to do anything for her. There might be some kind of white knight to come out, some blue pill is going to come out and say, "Oh, poor Amber, I love you. I'll take care of you." Maybe Elon will peel out. He'll take his wallet out, give her some digital bucks, right? So anyway, and let's see. So Johnny Depp got 10 million in compensatory, 5 million punitive. So compensatory damages. Compensatory means compensation for what you have lost. Say, unless you lost $10 million in a deal, you didn't get a movie deal. You could have made 10 million, which is really difficult. It was a difficult thing to prove, because you know you actually would really have to get a company to say, yeah, we didn't put him in a movie because of what she said. And there was none of that. But I guess that his lawyer, he had a great lawyer. She really proved her point. And then punitive damages is kind of emotional damage, or just off of the stress and the strife and what they did. 5 million for punitive damages. I mean, this jury is saying, this is what she did. She was guilty of going out there with malicious content, and trying to defame him, right? So Virginia law caps punitive damages at $350,000, though, and then which sucks, because you know what? If you're a real victim, and let's say you're a victim in a cancer suit or something, and someone gave you cancer, you know about it, whatever it is, or even a wrongful death or accident, and you get 50 million bucks, they cap it at 350,000. Which is a terrible thing to do to somebody. They're trying to control lawsuits and whatever. But what about punishment for people, and making them understand that they did something wrong? Sometimes with corporations, the only time with corporations is when you do that. But then it's those same corporations that dole out the money for these politicians, so they can put caps on things like that. Do they put a cap on your gas prices? Do they say, well, we're not going to let it go over 350 a gallon? You know, we put a cap on it. Nope, it's not for you. They put a cap on your food, a cap on steak. uh-uh, nothing like that. Only against, the government works against people, and it's supposed to be the opposite. They're supposed to be working for us, but it's a cash grab, isn't it? So anyway, let's see. And Johnny Depp, he was in England on stage playing with Jeff Beck, doing the guitar thing. They were putting him down. Oh, he's not taking this seriously. He's on stage. He's in England, whatever. Hey man, if they sold tickets and it's a contractual obligation, that's work. He has to go to work and do his thing instead of sitting there and listen to the jury. You know. So he's 58, she's 36. uh, let's see. So he sued her for 50 million, 50. She sued him for 100 million. Woo! That would have been a payday. She could have gone shopping for such a long time. Get those net jets, man. Fly to Paris with her friends. Woo! Not anymore. Not anymore. She'll be lucky she can get an Uber to the supermarket. You know what I mean? Then the Uber driver would be like, aren't you Amber Heard? Yes. Don't be pooping in my back seat, lady. Let me put a sheet down. And I'm going to charge you for that. All right. Let's see. All right. All right. This is what Heard said, right? It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. So she set back the clock on women. She set back. It's a word called responsibility. You yourself have a responsibility for your own bones and your own skin and the stuff that you do and you say and the people you affect. Nobody else, just you, your own bones, right? Here, here she is. It's against women. No, she's against women because she lied. And all those women who tell the truth, who are abused, this takes away from that. This desensitizes people to that. So you know what? She is a piece of poop, isn't she? Hate to say. I don't hate to say. I don't hate to say. You know, and the picture I'm looking at, her skirt's all wrinkly. So yeah, she looks terrible. Terrible. Man, look at Johnny Depp's lawyer. She was cool to watch. And those little clippets I saw of her, she was uh she was great. That was her name. Camille Vasquez. All right. Camille Vasquez. I'm single and I'm learning Spanish. Yes. Yo soy hablo español. Yo soy estudiar español. You know what? I estudio. Yo estudio. I estudio you. Too. Too. Yeah, man, she was great. I appreciate somebody with a great intellect. I really do. You know, one of the things that attracts me to women the most is intelligence. Intelligence, man. A good sense of humor, intelligence. You know, love it. Anyway, also a very dark and disturbing personality, and they have to be blazing crazy, of course. Although I wouldn't be interested. If I'm interested in you, you know you're nuts, and vice versa. I got to say. So if you're like me, you're definitely crazy. Uh, okay. Anyway, let's see. So I guess so his lawyer, his acting as well, woman. All right. So in weighing Heard's $100 million counterclaim against Depp, the jury considered three statements by the actor's lawyer, Adam Waldman, not this girl, Vasquez, who called her allegations a hoax. Well, they were, right? They found that Waldman defamed her when he claimed that Heard and her pals spilled a little wine and roughed up the place, got their stories straight when the police responded to a domestic disturbance called at the couple's apartment in 2016. Let me tell you this, man. If you're in a relationship with someone and the police show up, your relationship's over. You've already gotten to the point where it's done. And no matter how hard you try to save it or what you think you can do to save it, you can't. It's done. You know, the police done, right? And that's so. I mean, that's the beginning of the end, right there. And let's see, Depp sued. Let's see, Heard filed for a temporary restraining order, a TRO, against the actor following the May 16th incident after less than 2 years of marriage. Less than 2 years of marriage, and he got divorced and got 9 million out of the deal. Pretty good, huh? and she petitioned to Los Angeles court for a divorce. Depp then sued the Sun in the UK 2 years later over an article that called him a wife beater, but lost that case in 2020 after the court found the claim to be substantially true. See that? Because they did because he didn't have the case with her for the defamation. It was an allegation. The police show up. She gets a TRO, which is very easy to get, especially if you're a female in America against a guy, because they don't spend the time to go through these things and understand that they could be ruining someone's life if it's not true. These courts, they just act like robots. So, over the course of the Virginia trial, the actor's lawyers went to lengths to prove that Depp, not Heard, was the victim. And that's also hard, man. It's hard even to be a male and admit that you are the victim in a domestic dispute or a relationship that is an abusive relationship. I mean, I have been in an abusive relationship before, and I'll tell you, it comes down to, what do you say? Who do you tell? You know, you call the police and say this person's hurting my feelings, or making me depressed every day, or whatever, or running me down and constantly calling me names and that type of thing. And sometimes they're physically abusive, that type of stuff. Nobody's going to care. They're not going to care. They're going to laugh at you. So that is a huge problem in our society. We should be able to, be heard, right? Ha ha ha. We should be able to be heard, but not poop in the bed. Depp's team called a slew of witnesses, and yeah, I guess it was a show, huh? They put on a good show. Let's see. Heard, meanwhile, recounting harrowing moments in which the widely beloved star allegedly attacked her, including one sexually assaulting her with a liquor bottle. There you go. Ugh, all of it. And all right, so it's done. It's done. He was. Hey, you know what? He's not innocent, but he's not guilty, right? And she is guilty of lying and lying again. And once you've been found on the stand as a liar, basically that jury's not going to take anything else you say as the truth. You lie about one thing, and they catch you in that lie. All the other testimony is basically useless, because then there's going to be suspicion around everything that you say, unless you have really outstanding evidence. She had her sister go up there, Whitney. Ugh, what a pair. What a pair, the both of them. And, it was deemed that she lied her face off. Of course. Of course. They're looking for a payday. They want the money. They want the payday. This is the end. Johnny Depp has deep pockets. She wants to cash out of him. You know what I mean? So apparently he doesn't have even deep pockets, because this guy has a spending problem too, and has not been making all the movies, hasn't been making the money. So the money's going out the window. I know that his management company, agency, and all that was suing him for back payments and suing him for other stuff. And he was suing his manager and suing them. So there's all that going on in Johnny Depp's life. I know he's trying to do music. I've never heard his music, and I really don't care to. It's not something I'd walk across the street to see or hear. So anyway, so she's going to appeal, but yet she owes him more than what she has. I'm sure she's going to play the victim card all the way through and get a GoFundMe and get women to support her and get people to send her money, yada yada yada, because that's what they do. That's what they do. They play the system. That's what they do. So that's the world we're in. Anyway, let's get off. Let's get off that Hollywood. Let's get to. I want to keep with the theme of setting women back, women setting women back, because there's a lot of trash that gets talked about men who keep women back, and I don't want the show to sound like I'm thumping on women or something. I just find it interesting that in our society that people are so ready to believe the negative about the male, and even attacking men. I was reading an article the other day on how there's women out there that are upset because their men don't protect them in public anymore and that type of thing. Well, You want to go and yak about toxic masculinity, whatever the hell that is. I mean, I know what my version of toxic masculinity, but it's not even masculinity. It's just toxic behavior, and anybody can show toxic behavior, male or female, right? So I'm not a big believer that women should be soldiers or police officers. It's not against women, nothing like that. I just think that their jobs that they would be compromised easier than a male in that job, And we've seen that time and time again. But you try to balance things out in this world, and there are women out there that excel as police officers and as EMT and as soldiers and all that. And then there's ones out there that, you know, don't. And then they kind of take the center stage. So the NYPD rookie who was caught on tape giving her lieutenant a raunchy lap dance has been suspended without pay for launching into a loud tirade at New Jersey state troopers over a relative's drunk driving arrest. The latest blemish, latest, right, during Vera McCooley's law enforcement career occurred on May 8th after she showed up at the state police barracks in Tottawa, New Jersey, in her bare feet and smelling like booze, according to an internal NYPD report. Let's see. She then began loudly demanding answers as to why her brother in law had just been arrested by state troopers for driving while intoxicated. Why? Well, see, maybe because he was driving while he was intoxicated. What do you think of that? McCooley, 27, identified herself as an NYPD officer and insisted on speaking with one of the troopers involved in the arrest. After a staff sergeant calmly told her that he had procedures to follow and that the troopers would not be made available, McCooley became irate and demanded to speak with a lieutenant, a rookie cop who joined the force in February 2021. The rookie cop, she, then began recording the staff sergeant with her smartphone and quipped, "You guys are talking out of your asses. None of this was done correctly." The little rookie cop, right? Pretty girl, got some pictures of her there, right? Looks good doing that lap dance. That's kind of interesting. The troopers asked if anyone in McCooley's party wanted to file a complaint, but nobody did. They did report the incident to the New Jersey State Police Office of Professional Standards, which reviewed the case and found the troopers followed proper procedures. So here's this woman trying to say they didn't follow proper procedures, trying to call them out, trying to get them in trouble, recording them on her phone. She's whatever, and she's drunk herself, right? The guy's picked up for a DWI. As far as I'm concerned, the people that get picked up for DWI are some of the worst people on the planet. They took it upon themselves to climb in a car that they know that they can't drive, and they could easily kill you, the honest person. It's usually the person going home from work who worked paycheck to paycheck, and they get killed by one of these sloppy idiots like Nancy Pelosi's husband. Same thing. 82 years old, driving his high end Porsche at 4:13 in the morning, right? And he caused an accident. He hit a Jeep. And if he ran into a fence and whatever, they wouldn't have said anything. They wouldn't have done anything. And apparently that's happened a lot. But then who gets in trouble? They're trying to get the cops in trouble. The cops doing their job, you know? So let's see, the NYPD's Internal Affairs Bureau was notified as Cooley's alleged misconduct and opened its own investigation, relying heavily on troopers' body worn camera footage. See, now they got the cameras, man. An NYPD spokesman confirmed the cop was suspended without pay, but declined to say how long. McCooley could not immediately be reached for comment on Saturday. Let me see. She's doing that lap dance. I can watch that all day. McCooley made headlines in December when she got caught on camera grinding on top of the then 44th Precinct lieutenant, her boss, grinding his penis with her privates, lap dancing him, you know. I mean, you can see it online. It's pretty out there. I mean, she's lap dancing her boss. So for all the other women out there who are police officers that cringe when they see women like this doing these things, that's not a guy doing it. You don't see a dude lap dancing his lieutenant. None of the other guys know she's doing it. She's using her great body, her great looks, and she's doing something that she shouldn't be doing. Period. That is something that's something they should have taken issue with even more than her going yelling at the other cops. Right? Let's see. So days later, she apologized to her boss, the one who got the lap dance. He looked pretty happy getting that lap dance, and his wife, because he's married. So here he is with this beautiful rookie lap dancing him. And they're NYPD, which is scary as hell. If you want to know why there's so much crime in the city, maybe that's part of it. I don't know. I don't want to take away from all the great cops that do great work, but this is deplorable, right? Shouldn't be happening. But all right, here we go. He said, "Oh, this is what she said. Feel like just because mainly I'm a female, dressed the way I was, being a rookie, things were different. Had it been a man doing it, I feel like it would have been more of a joking matter and it would have stayed in house versus go public. First of all, it's because you're a female that the guy let you do that. He wouldn't see the dude's not going to let some dude lap dance him. That's just a stupid statement. Just dumb. It's this woman trying to play the female card, saying that, oh, I'm a female, so I get to go. I get the green light. I can do what I want to do. People are holding it against me because of that. Yeah, right. Give me a break. McCauley also claimed that she had no knowledge that her superior was married and is truly sorry for the consequences of the lap dance. I'm sure his wife, I'm sure after that video went viral online, that his wife, his family, everybody that he knows, he probably has kids or whatever he's got, is out there seeing this and is mortified. Took a chunk out of his life, but he should have slapped her away when she came over with her booty, tried to sit on his lap. He should have went out of here, rookie, out of here, rookie. But she, see now, she has to be that type of person to do that in the first place. Because when people do things, they are that type of person to do things, right? It wasn't something that just happened. I'm sure she's lap danced other people, but this was her boss. So anyway, talk about setting people back, not taking any responsibility. She should have said, "Oh my God, I'm mortified. I can't believe the way I've been acting, and I set people back. I set women back, and all the great women out there who were police officers who even died in the line of duty. Here I am lap dancing my lieutenant. You know what I mean? So where's just the common fucking decency? Of people, the common decency. Where is that? Gone, man, gone. Nobody wants to take responsibility for anything they do. It's ugly. Anyway, so getting off of that, I'm gonna kind of cruise. I'm gonna cruise to the Ukraine for a minute because we don't talk about the Ukraine too much. So the Wagner Group is it sounds like a think tank, like a DC think tank, the Wagner Group. The Wagner Group is actually a band of militants, ex-Russian military who protect Putin. It's his own private army. Let's just say that that's his own private army. Like in America we had Blackwater. Blackwater then became something else, and now it's something else again. And you know, they're another mercenary group. They even have their own F-16s and things like that. They're basically a little army, right? Same for Wagner. Wagner is supposed to be the best of the best. What Russia's military equivalent to as like what an Army Ranger would be, or a SEAL, or anything like that, any special forces. These are Wagners, including generals and all that. So last week they shot down one of the Wagner generals in an airplane. He was a sniper pilot. Which takes 8 to 10 years to train, millions and millions of bucks to train a sniper pilot. And then they took him a stinger, right? So, and here again, here's the headline: Ukrainian soldiers destroyed a large unit of Wagner fighters in Donbass, right? Which they're what they're they're fighting, and they keep saying the Russians keep saying, well, they took Donbass. And I don't know what you're taking because the place is leveled. There's all the buildings are leveled, and it's a mess, right? Ukrainian defenders destroyed a large group of Wagner Group mercenaries who serve as the de facto private army of Putin, right? Let's see. A new telephone conversation between invaders, which was intercepted by the security services of Ukraine, showed that after the elimination of such an elite unit of Russian soldiers, according to the source, uh, ordinary this happened on May 27th, just a few days ago. Ordinary Russian occupiers are hesitating to fight. So you have the Russian soldiers who have either no training, little training. They're putting men in the army now up to 65 years old. They're gone beyond the bottom of the barrel. So you have these troops with no training and nothing getting blown away. Then they see these highly trained troops, this Wagner group, get destroyed. Talk about morale, right? The details, according to the intercepted call, uh, the guy called his wife. All of our soldiers are dying. The wife gives the occupier the right advice. She said, F them all with their army. Come home. Come home to me, Boris. I will, Natasha, if I could make it out of the Ukraine alive. Right? That's what I think. That's my version. I'll put on the borscht. Yes, yes. Get out the vodka. I need it. All my friends are dead. That's what they're saying. All their friends are dead. The guys they went in to fight with. Thousands of Russians have been killed. They've blown up these tanks like they're toys. Like they're toys. It's like not even you're watching it on video, and there's like 10 tanks that are driving down the road. Remember in the beginning that they had the tanks going through the mud and up the mountain, down the mountain, doing all this great stuff. Look how badass our Russian army is in our tanks. Now they can't even get away. I'm like watching them. These guys know what they're doing. They hit the first tank, they hit the last tank, they block the road from the other tanks getting away, and they just pick them all off. That's all. And these guys know it. You see these troops getting out of the tank and running away, as fast as they can. So yeah, man. I think that the Russian troops should switch sides, you know? So, and then, so now, remember that general we talked about a few weeks ago? I think I gave him till Tuesday. So, and let's see, General Alexander Dvornkov. Dvornkov. They don't know what happened to him. They said he may have been removed from his post. I don't even think he was in theater. I think that he was still in Russia trying to call the shots in a bunker because he doesn't want to get killed from those other generals that got killed. I mean, there's a slew of them that are gone. One day they're eating caviar, drinking vodka in their mansion. Next day they're in the Ukraine getting blown up by a missile, right? So what a difference a day makes. And I think that look, other countries, especially China, needs to learn. But I see how China ran on Japan last week, you know, with bombers, Chinese bombers, Russian bombers. They uh, they ran at Japan, and Japan scrambled their forces. They scrambled their air because of that. So, and that's when that meeting was going on, and Biden was over there. Then you have that, Rocket Man. He launched a rocket during the same time, escalating, threatening, all the stuff that they do in these times, right? Then we were gonna the MLSRS, MLRS missile system. Then we weren't gonna give it to them. Now we are gonna give it to them, but they have to promise not to fire rockets into Russia. This is so crazy and stupid. And we were also giving them drones with Hellfire missiles. These drones can carry, I think they carry like 10 or 12 Hellfire. That's the first time they're getting those. They're getting like 7 of those. So it's going to tilt the scale. You know, the rocket those rocket systems are rocket artillery. And then, if you watch the media, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, especially Fox. I hate these women on there saying that you know they go 150, 200 miles, these rockets and all that, and they don't know what they're talking about. They don't. It's actually 100 kilometers, right? And then and if you know anything about kilometers, it only means about 60 miles or so, that these rockets can go. But so the Russian artillery can go maybe what they're using, 30 miles, right? Something like that. It's restricted to around there. But the rockets can go much further with much more accuracy. So the rockets will be able to push back the Russian artillery, and the Russian artillery will be able to reach the rockets. So it's going to be a game changer for that, right? Anyway, I just think it's funny, this media, when I flip the channels around to listen to these people, especially, the ones who are talking on TV, they're not specialists. And even if they have them on and they say that they're a specialist, they're not. Oh, this guy is a general. It means nothing. It means nothing. You want people who actually know what the hell they're talking about. Not the ones who have no idea what they're talking about. And also the ones who are actually on Fox or CNN or MSNBC, do their opinions even matter? I mean, they're are what they are. These aren't people that have brilliant backgrounds. A lot of them are lawyers, which means nothing. But they're not people that have brilliant backgrounds, and they're not political strategists. They're not people who do any of that. And even if they worked for another administration, oh yeah, they worked for so and so, doesn't mean they did anything. Right now, the Biden administration, I don't think one person in all those cabinets that he appointed can do the job, is qualified to do the job, So that's one of the reasons why there's so many problems now. And now he's leaving it up to God. He said, God willing, things will get better. Oh my God, really? Your leader just said, God willing, things will get better. But he can't give you an idea of when, where, how, who, and they want people to suffer. Let me tell you, they want people to be at their lowest. This administration, these people, that's side. And you know what, the Democrats were supposed to be a party for the working people. They've just became a party of haters. I think they hate themselves. I think it's a mentality. I've been studying this psychology for a while, and I find them to be they hate themselves. When bad things happen to them, they think they deserve it. But these people who make the decisions, bad things don't happen to them because they're in charge. You think Biden's feeling the gas crunch? You think Kamala Harris? You think anybody up there is feeling those gas prices? You know, they don't care because they're wealthy. They're not feeling those gas prices, right? So how about one more song tonight for y'all? One more. I want to get back. Ugh, let me get back to this. I think we talked about that, and I don't want to talk about that. Anyway, I don't know. Let's see. All right, Jurassic Park. You know what? I want to talk about that last week, and I kind of got out too fast and wasn't able to get into it. So we only have 3 minutes, so that's got to be enough time. Jurassic Park stars, of course, Laura Dern. Their 20-year age gap in the 1993 blockbuster never raised any eyebrows until now. They're looking back to cause trouble for people. I had gotten suspended from Facebook off of a picture I posted on my friend's page for his birthday, which wasn't even a bad picture, and they suspended me for 8 years ago. Like, what? You're suspended for 24 hours from a photograph you put up 8 years ago. That's a sick mentality when you start doing stuff like that. And it wasn't against. They say it's against community standards. That's their term. Community standards for if they don't like it, they can knock you out. But community standards is actually the standards of the community and what that community wants to tolerate, not tolerate. So they're way off base. So anyway, so now these guys are back for another, if you could tell by the commercials out there for all the dinosaurs. So here we go. let's see, Dern was in her 20s and Neil was in his 40s at the time. And he said, I'm 20 years older than Laura, which at the time was completely appropriate. Age difference for a leading man and lady, Neil, who is 74 now, told the London Sunday Times. Dern is now 55. He's 74, she's 55. He looks better than her. Just saying. He added, it never occurred to me until I opened the magazine. There was an article called Old Geezers and Gals. So don't you think that article itself was attacking people and judging people, misjudging people? And there's a lot of younger women who want older guys because the older guys are mentally stable, financially stable. They're not likely to cheat on these women. And then that's what they're looking for. And then here's some article. Now this guy's people like Harrison Ford, Sean Connery acting with much younger people. And there I was on the list. I thought, come on, it can't be true. This guy's seeing his name. He should have sued them for defamation of character, like Johnny Depp. He should call Johnny Depp, get that lawyer. Let's see. I don't know. We're running out of time. But basically, let's see. I want to read what Dern said because this is Horace's ass. You know, at the time, she said she thought it was completely appropriate to fall in love with Sam Neill. And it was only now when we returned to awareness about the patriarchy, and I was like, wow, we're not the same age. So there you go. So she's poo-pooing on the whole thing. So what the bottom line is, it your opinions matter, and it doesn't matter what the woke PC people say, because it's your opinions that matter to you and how you live your life. And don't let people influence you to the point where you're looking to change your ideas and beliefs for somebody else's BS, because they're wrong. They're wrong. And they're wrong for a lot of reasons. So I'm going to leave it there on United Public Radio Network. I'll see you next show. Put your chairs in the upright position, and I'll see you next week. Bye.